allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic
which stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and
and
justice.
justice for all.
Okay, this meeting taking place today, Wednesday, March 10th. I'm going to read the disclaimer, governor's disclaimer for remote participation. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws, chapter 38, section 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This public meeting of the Lawrence Licensing Board is being conducted via remote participation. Members of the public may attend this meeting virtually until acknowledged by the board. All members of the public must mute or silence their devices. If we can get Attorney Corrigan, could you mute your mic, please? Thank you. Roll call. Commissioner Darwin is excused tonight. Commissioner Potter? And the chair is present, Santiago as well. Approval of the minutes of February 24th, 2021. I read the minutes and I'm gonna, if I can have a motion to actually table it. There was a couple of clerical errors in there that I'd like to have them fixed before. So if I can get Commissioner Potter to make a motion to table that. Okay, you're very low, Commissioner Potter. But the motion was made to table that. I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, roll call, Commissioner Potter,
Yeah.
and the chair votes yes as well. We don't have any old business or table matters, so we're gonna move on to new business. Eddie's Mendy's Kitchen, located at 592 Essex Street, is applying for full alcohol restaurant license. I'm gonna ask Lieutenant Cirillo, Captain Delaney, and then the attorney for statements on this, and then we'll have the commissioners will be open for any questions as well. So if we can start with Lieutenant Cirillo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of questions for the new owners or the licensees. What's the hours of operation? I think can you hear me? Anybody there? Hours of operation?
Attorney Corrigan, you're muted right now, so you have to unmute.
The question is for Arismendi Kitchen.
Yes.
Okay, the hours for operation is like 1 a.m.
Say it again?
We are open to 11 to 12 by planning to open to 1 a.m.
All right, the only suggestion to the board I would have is that we could stay consistent with the rest of the restaurants that we've given out licenses to, an 11 o'clock closure, like we have, to be consistent.
I can work with that.
You're good with that?
Yep.
Okay, so 11 o'clock Monday through Sunday. Are you all set? You know all the rules and regulations that you need, or you need us to go over anything with you, or you good?
I'm good.
Okay, so that would be my only suggestion, would be 11 o'clock closure of the restaurant, Monday through Sunday.
Okay.
Captain Delaney?
Good evening, everybody. The fire department will be by to do a 304 inspection with inspectional services. I don't believe you've had one, have you?
That's to the owners. You have to unmute, Ms. Leonardo.
Yeah, say it again, I'm sorry.
Has there been an inspection by the fire department, inspectional services at the premises this year?
Yeah, I have the impression for the fire department.
Okay. Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Potter, do you have any questions for them? Okay, as Lieutenant Cirillo stated, I actually read the zoning board. And so we're gonna go with the hours, Monday through Sunday, 11 o'clock. And you have to understand that there no bar service, so it all has to be wait staff only according to the zoning board. And only alcohol will be sold to dining patrons. So you can't sell alcohol to somebody who just walks in and wants to have a drink. It has to be somebody who's ordering food. If you understand that, I think we can work with that. So there'll be no bar service. Wait staff has to serve the patrons, and they can't walk up and order a drink. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, do you have any questions for any of the board or Lieutenant Cirillo, Captain Delaney? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to grant Eddie's Mendy's Kitchen a liquor license to be actually to be run Monday and Sunday for the hours at 11 p.m. maximum. I'll entertain that motion. Okay, Commissioner Ford, I see him nodding at motion. I'll second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye as well. Roll call, Commissioner Potter,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So good luck with your restaurant, and hopefully everything runs well. You have a good night.
Thank
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the hearing for Vaca Lodge, located at 337 Essex Street, regarding COVID-19 violations and alcohol violations. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have Lieutenant Cirillo speak on this. The fire department did respond there, so we'll have Captain Delaney as well speak on that. And then the chair, and then we'll have the attorney for Vaca, and then we'll be open for questions from any of the present parties. So Lieutenant Cirillo, if you can start.
Good evening again. I'm going to read a report, incident report number 21-000-860. The report was written by Officer Myers, and it was on 2/10/2021 at 4:16:50 a.m. in the morning. Officer Myers of the Lawrence Police Department wrote in his report he was working the assigned shift 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. He was in marked cruiser 408, and at approximately 4:16, along with several other units, he was dispatched to 337 Essex Street, Vaca Restaurant, for a report of a disturbance. Upon arrival, officers entered to gain entrance through a front door in the rear of Vaca Restaurant. Officer Mejia observed individuals run on the Lawrence Street side, leaving Vaca. Separate individuals ran back inside the building. At this time, along with Officers Castillo, they went off with two individuals in front of 11 Lawrence Street. The two individuals were identified as Juan Herrera, date of birth of 5/8/84, and Carlos Manuel 6/9/98, who both explained that they were leaving Vaca through the front entrance when Juan had slipped and fallen on the ice. He observed Juan had a large lump or swollen bump and blood on the right part of his forearm, as well as abrasions on the left side of his face. Officers asked Juan multiple times if he wanted to get checked by EMS and go to the hospital, which Juan continuously refused. At this time, I radioed to dispatch to have EMS come to evaluate Juan in fear of having a potential head injury. Carlos explained that he would take Juan to the hospital to get checked out instead of taking an ambulance. At this time, along with Officer Castillo, we made our way back to 337 Esther Street in the rear parking lot, which Officers Mejia and Suarez were standing by at the entrance. Sergeant Trombley, along with Sergeant Mijo and other officers, were in the front of Vaca. Be advised, due to Officer Mejia's seeing a large gathering of people run back inside in a panic and the nature of the 911 call, Sergeant Trombley requested Lawrence Fire on scene to open the front entrance of Vaca. Once officers gained entry, officers continued to the rear of Vaca Restaurant to find no individuals on the first floor. At this time, officers heard shouting and people yelling in the basement. Sergeant Trombley and Sergeant Michaud, along with other officers, continued into the basement of Vaca, where units were greeted by approximately 20 individuals and the owner of Vaca, who identified himself as Cepeda, date of birth 2/11/82, who began to explain that these 20 individuals were friends and they stayed late until after the kitchen cleaning workers were finished. Be advised, Governor Baker's extended restaurant to allow and remain open until midnight due to coronavirus pandemic. It is important to note that all individuals were in close proximity of each other and did not have any type of face covering as required due to the city of Lawrence being designated as a rent zone by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. While in the basement of Vaca, officers observed what appeared to be an unkept area which broken beer bottles were smashed. The refrigerator walk-in where cases of beer were stored were also left open, and that resembled a renovation of the basement. Mr. Cepeda explained several times to sergeants that he assures officers everything he was doing is legal and to the regulations. Cepeda also explained that they wait for workers to finish cleaning every night and they wait there in the basement. It also should be noted officers responded to Vaca back in December of 2020 for being over capacity of customers due to COVID-19 regulations and guidelines. It was at this time Juan Herrera, the man who had explained he had slipped on the ice in front of Vaca, made his way into the basement. I escorted Herrera to Sergeant Trombley and to Sergeant Michaud, who were speaking to Mr. Cepeda, and asked what had happened to Herrera. Cepeda explained that he had fallen as well and that he is a worker at Vaca. Officers asked individuals who were in the attendance why they were all ran, and when they went, and they explained that they were scared. Lastly, officers cleared out the remaining individuals from the restaurant. It was also noted that while their officers observed Cepeda Canadian Goose jacket and Yeezy brand sneakers, which are known to be highly valuable. It was also noted that this is what appeared to be the remains of an after-hours party. Officers once again met with the person in control of the premises, Mr. Cepeda, who was informed that a correspondent would be sent to the City of Lawrence Inspectional Services, as well as the City of Lawrence Board of Health. This report will be forwarded to Lieutenant Cirillo, Lieutenant Montas, Captain McNamara, Director Amano, Inspectional Services, and the Board of Health for further investigation. That is the end of Officer Myers' report for 2/10/21. So I'd like to go on the record, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, to say that I've been involved with the Governor Baker's state task force that's gone out since September. I know members of the board have joined us out there, and I can tell you that Vaca has been one of the better establishments that have followed the rules during the pandemic. That being said, obviously there was some sort of after-hours operation going on there, whether it be co-workers, friends, due to a birthday party, whatever it might be. Unfortunately, I think two things happen here. It's a violation certainly of COVID-19 regulations, as well as operating well after hours of operation. As noted in the report, at the time, 12 o'clock was the limit for closure. This event happened somewhere around 4:16 in the morning. We're not talking an hour after closing up. We're not talking 2 hours after closing up. We're not talking 3 hours after closing up. So again, I think that, unfortunately, this was bad judgment, but it certainly was well after the hours of operation that they should be.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Captain Delaney, would you like to speak on this?
And nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain the attorney of record first.
Hi, this is Attorney Gomez.
Yes, Attorney Gomez, go ahead.
I just wanted to check with the board that you received the electronic enclosures we sent over approximately 4:15 to all the members of the local licensing board, including Mr. Armano.
I haven't. I have them in front of me.
The reason we provided these enclosures ahead of time, Mr. Chairman, was to outline exactly who was present at the property and what they were doing. Specifically, when I spoke with our client, he told me that as part of his COVID sanitation process, he contracted an outside company, incorporated a Romano's disinfectant service that was scheduled to be at the property at or around 3 o'clock in the morning that particular day. And part of his protocol is to wipe down prior to the Romanos coming to the property. Romanos goes, sprays the sanitation to the entire premises, and then afterwards go down and wipe down the residue for the application that Romanos places. I included an affidavit that was signed by Mr. Romano for these purposes. And my client tells me that the reason he kept his employees for this amount of time is because, quite frankly, you get more done with more people. It's more cost effective for him to have those employees present as opposed to having Mr. Romano come in with a crew of 10, 15 people to do the work, since his staff is already there. And one of the issues that we wanted to clarify in the report, I know a number of observations were made as to whether there was an after hours operation going on. One of the things that officer on site, Officer Myers, pointed out that there were some sort of broken bottles lying around in the downstairs basement. Mr. Chairman, I'll just point out that one of the things that my client does to add something different to the operation is he orders custom glassware. That custom glassware is more effective to employ in his establishment by just using the bottles that come right off. I sent an example of those to you, Mr. Chairman, and to the rest of the board of the finished custom glassware, and also who the vendor is in South Carolina, along with a description of the product that he advertises. I think it's relevant, Mr. Chair, because in the abstract, to see these broken bottles lying around, you could come to the conclusion that there was some sort of after-hours operation. But if you take a closer look at the photo that my client provided us of the basement where those bottles are lying, to the point of Officer Myers, this is really used for storage. In fact, there was no after-hours operation going on, and what my client provided us was also the shipping address of where those bottles go, and the vendor. We also wanted to point out, Mr. Chairman, although the police report, incident report 860, references a December infraction of being over capacity, It doesn't reference the actual date. We did a little bit of due diligence, and we did obtain the incident report of 2000, just for the record, 2007-478. That was on December 19th, 2020. And in that situation, our client tells us that he clarified to the responding officer that responded for overcapacity that that this was just a misunderstanding. He doesn't allow more than 60 people in the building at any time, and that his capacity was actually 146. So although Officer Espinal gives a range of between 50 and 65 people, the capacity range for at 146 at 40% for our clients would be 58 people. So we don't actually have an exact range that there was in fact a violation. I'm pointing this out, Mr. Chairman, because I believe that that particular incident number dated December 19th, 2020 was forwarded to Mr. Armano, and that the Board of Health actually did follow up with this. And my understanding, at least my client tells me, is that this was something that they were operating correctly, that this was just a misunderstanding. So we're obviously prepared to answer any questions to address these issues, Mr. Chair, but again, this is just part of our clients' sanitation procedures to make sure that they're complying with the governor's guidance. They're contracting outside help to come in, clean the facility. And one of the things that I discussed with our client was in the future is to let Officer Cirillo, Captain Delaney, let everyone on the board know when this operation is going to happen ahead of time, so that they can expect activity. They can expect 12, 15 people at the location, because this is what they're going to be doing. Once a month, somebody's going to be coming in, and to keep costs low, he's going to use his existing help to resolve these issues.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gomez. Mr. Corrigan, are you going to speak as well, or?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to clarify something with Lieutenant. Lieutenant Cirillo, I received a copy of the incident report that you read into the record. And if I could, I'd like to ask you to go to page 4 of 6. And after the reference to Governor Baker's order that establishments can only remain open until midnight, you read a sentence or two that is not in the report that I received, and I just wanted to see if you could clarify that. So right after the reference to Governor Baker's executive order that restaurants have to close at midnight, I think you made some reference to the people at the establishment not wearing masks, but I don't see that in the report, so I'm wondering where that comes from.
On page 5, it says,
Okay.
it starts after midnight. It says, due to the coronavirus pandemic, it is important to note that all individuals were in close proximity of each other and did not have any type of face covering as required by the city of Lawrence, being designated a red zone by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So it starts at the bottom of page 4 and goes into 5. And that's the report that I have from Officer Myers. I'd be happy to provide it to you.
Okay, what's the date and time of that one?
2020, date printed, Tuesday, February the 16th, 14:59:29. And I was the guy that printed it.
Okay. All right, well, the report that we received with the notice of violation was printed on Wednesday, February 10th. at 08/14/18. And it does not contain any reference to any observation of mask wearing, no mask wearing, or anything. So I'm just curious how that came to be added to the report. Is that customary?
No, once the report is done, you can't change it in our system, so I'm not sure the copy. This is the copy I printed from our log.
Okay.
So like I said, I'd be happy to, let me just check. I have 2 copies here, so let me just check both copies to make sure both copies have the same thing that I have. But I would be happy to provide that to you. Yeah, both copies that I printed, again, I printed them both at the same time, so I
Okay.
printed them on Tuesday, February the 16th, at 14:59:29 hours.
All right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, I was, when I saw the notice of violation, obviously I was naturally concerned when I got the call from Mr. Cepeda that, that the officers had observed some sort of, a gathering with people not wearing masks and in proximity and not observing social distancing. But in the report that I have, there's no observation of any COVID violation whatsoever. I mean, it's a,
Commissioner, the reports that you were provided, do you guys have the same thing that I'm looking at?
I'm looking right now, and this is on page 5, you said, right?
It starts at the bottom of page 4,
Yeah,
and it should go in right into the top of page 5. So it should read, Governor Baker extended restaurants to be allowed to remain open until 12 a.m. due to the coronavirus pandemic. Then it says, it is important to note that all individuals were in close proximity of each other and did not have any type of face covering as required due by the city of Lawrence. Does your report have that? No?
no, actually, I can't find that on there.
Director Romano, do
It
you have
goes
a
right
copy?
into an unkept area.
Yeah, I can share,
Smashed.
if the chair would like, I could share the screen. I can't find that, Lieutenant Cirillo, either. Would you
Yes,
like?
please.
Say it again?
Director Amano wants to share that. Okay, here it is right there.
Yeah, so you're right. So on this report, it isn't there, but the report, and that was printed. So this is printed on a different date. This is printed Wednesday, February the 10th by Tom Cuddy. And mine is printed February the 16th. So I don't know. I can't make reference to why that is.
all I would say, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Porter, is that, as you both know, I've been in front of the board on a couple of occasions at least. I think this is maybe the third or fourth client I've had who's been cited by the COVID enforcement team, and in those other cases, there've been some serious issues. Most recently, King Lobster, which, I mean, the board took some serious action on that one, and to be honest with you, I respect the action that the board took. There were warnings galore, and the licensee did not abide those warnings. In this particular case, as Lieutenant Cirillo stated at the beginning of his presentation, Mr. Cepeda is he's a model licensee. Anyone who's been in his restaurant can see the amount of money that he spent on plexiglass barriers and social distancing mechanisms. His staff is all extremely diligent with their COVID compliance. There's sanitizers on every table. This particular incident, I think, was just a very strange confluence of events. As Attorney Gomez as stated. It would happen to be the night that the cleaning company comes in for a disinfection. There's a lot of prep that needs to be done because this company comes in and sprays everything. So the food and the beverages need to be covered, stuff needs to be put away, and then the disinfection is done, and then everything needs to be reset for the next day's service to the public. So I mean, this is a one-off incident with Mr. Cepeda, who otherwise has been a model licensee, and based upon the record that's in front of you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Potter, I don't see any COVID violation. I see an observation that there were a bunch of people coming out of a restaurant late night, and Mr. Cepeda has explained that situation and why that occurred. And I would only ask the board to consider that, and perhaps to consider this, a case where maybe a warning is in order, and not to take any drastic action for a licensee who otherwise is running a really top-notch A+ operation. So that's all I would have to say, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Potter.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, may I be heard just one more time?
Yeah, go ahead, Lieutenant.
Just a couple of things. First off, I know they're stating that there was a cleanup underway at the location. I get it, but I wasn't there, unfortunately, to observe any COVID issues. But the mere sight of people, first off, hiding in the basement is a problem. There was certainly bottles down there. If they were waiting just to clean the establishment, it would have been just fine to wait upstairs in plain view where you could be seen from the outside of the business. So there was definitely some type of intention to be hidden down in the basement. So that's first off. Secondly, I spoke to Mr. Cepeda. He explained there was a few people that worked there, as well as people that were a few friends of his for his birthday party. So again, it certainly was not what they're saying was going on. There was certainly some type of gathering that was in the basement there. Now, again, I know the report that the counselor has doesn't have that line in it. I'd be happy to put this on hold and have Officer Myers come here to testify to what he saw. If that would be, if the board so wanted that, or the council wanted that, I certainly could have him, because I certainly see a discrepancy in the report that I have and the report that was provided to you. So I'd certainly like to see or hear why that wasn't in that original report that he printed on that date. So, but that being said, I do agree with the council that they have been abiding by the guidelines and the rules and regulations. But certainly on this night, there was some sort of mistake. There was some sort of gathering down there. And unfortunately, they got caught.
Okay, thank you, Lieutenant. I'm going to actually agree with Lieutenant Cirillo. If we can have the officer that wrote the report and forward the additional report that you don't have, Attorney Corrigan, I think it would be in everyone's best interest. And instead of jumping to a conclusion without all the evidence, I would entertain a motion to table this until the next meeting, 2 weeks from today. And that way we can have all present parties and all the proper paperwork in order, and we can move from there.
I would like to add something to what Cirillo just mentioned, Lieutenant Cirillo. My name is Alexis Cepeda. I'm the restaurant owner.
Okay.
I just want to mention the reason we were at the basement. As you understand, the COVID cleaning that we do, someone comes in with a suit and they sprayed everything. It's a strong chemical, so we will not want to be in the same place while they're spraying it. So they spray it. While they were spraying, we were waiting at the basement to finish, and then we wait a good 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then we come and wipe. So that was the reason we were at the cellar. We can't be while he's cleaning there, because he sprayed the whole place and it's a strong smell, it's a strong chemical. I just wanted to notify that.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Potter, did you make a motion to table this? Okay, Commissioner Potter made a motion. You're gonna have to unmute.
All right, now can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, motion to table. I think it's very.
Okay,
Yeah, motion to table, definitely, yes.
okay, second. So we got a motion to table to 2 weeks from today, so we can have all the proper paperwork and anybody else who'd like to speak on this matter. All in favor? Aye. Okay, roll call, Commissioner Potter.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well. So we're gonna be tabling this 2 weeks from today, and then we'll move forward from that point. Thank you for your time, everyone. I'm gonna look to get a date for the next meeting. 2 weeks from today should bring us to the 24th, I believe it is.
Yes.
Yes, the 24th. So we'll have another meeting on the 24th, if that's all right, Commissioner Potter?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. This time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, everyone. You have a good night, and we will see you on the 24th.